one is a leg of a triangle, all right? And A and B are interchangeable. You can label these either one because you could add in any order and get the same answer. But you have to know the longest side is always C. So in the equation, C is always the hypotenuse.
Can you abbreviate that?
Sure, if you want to. Okay. Go ahead and draw this triangle on your paper. So you've got 5, 6, and P. And we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the unknown lengths. Most important thing is that you know which side is the hypotenuse. So raise your hand if you know which side is the hypotenuse. Jake? Yes. So we're going to label this C, all right, in our formula. These two you can label either way. I'm going to label A as 5 and B as 6. But you would get the right answer if you did B and A, okay? So then we're going to write our formula down. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And we're going to replace 5 for A, 6 for B, and we're going to solve for C. Okay. So 5 squared is 25, good, and 6 squared is 36. And then we have to add them together, so we do get 61 when we add them together. And then we probably do something that we haven't really seen, but you kind of know it, but we haven't really exactly solved for a variable like this. So the opposite of squaring something is actually square rooting something. So like 5 squared is 25, and the square root of 25 is 5. So they're like opposites of each other, okay? So this one right here, if I want to get C by itself, we just square root it, and that means I square root this side. So once you square root C, it undoes the square. This cancels it out, and we just have a C. Okay? And then on this side, we're going to leave it as the square root of 61 today. On your homework, we've been determining what is in between, right? What two numbers would this be in between? 7 and 8, because it's close to the square root of 64, but it's less than that, okay? But for your homework on this worksheet, you guys can just leave it as the square root of 61. Unless it's a perfect square number, like the square root of 4, then you can put 2. Okay? All right, go ahead and draw this triangle.
If we do the opposite, right?
What?
If we do the opposite.
What'd you say?
All right. So A squared equals B squared equals C squared. Most important thing is that you can recognize which side is C. Raise your hand if you know which side is C. Kendra.
T.
Good. No. Ooh. Lillian. 15. Good. So just because it's the variable doesn't mean it's C, and that's what people actually make a mistake on a lot. You have to do the opposite of the right angle, or the longest side here. So this is C. And then A and B, we'll do A is T and B is 5. All right.
Do we do square?
Yeah, so A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Write the formula down every time, all right? Because you want to memorize that formula. We're going to plug in T for A, so T squared. We're going to plug in 5 for B. And we're going to plug 15 in for C. So I have T squared, and now 5 squared is 25, and 15 squared, anybody remember that one?
20.
Nice, it's 25. Alright, so we're trying to find T. This one has an extra step in it compared to the last one. We're actually going to isolate T, so we're going to do how we normally do when we solve. We want to get rid of this 25. So how do I get rid of a plus 25?
Minus.
Yeah. We're going to minus 25. So cancel, cancel, and we have a T squared left over, and then 200 on this side. Okay, and then that one new step you learned. So I want to undo the square. How do I undo the square on that T?
Square
by itself. And we can leave this as the square root of 200. Anybody know what the square root of 200 is in between?
Oh. Square root of 14 and 15.
Yes, it is 14 and 15. Nice.
No.
196 and then 225. Okay, for 14 and 15. All right, there you go. So that's